Hello, everyone, and welcome to another match reaction show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for this evening. Not the best of performances today, but Liverpool managed to secure the vital 3 points that were needed as we beat Wolves 2-1 today at Anfield. So, what we'll do during the show, we will review the match in terms of discussing the key moments. We will then present the player ratings, and this is also a calling show. So, if you'd like to come on and have your say, a link has been pinned in the live chat. So, feel free to hit the link, and I will bring you on the show in due course. So, let's start with the first half. I think Liverpool actually started the first half really well. They produced some decent moments that were not clear-cut chances, but more or less half chances. So Jota had a shot, which was with a half volley with his left foot. Unfortunately, drags it wide. Then moments later, he had a header from a McAllister corner that goes over the bar. So Bozlai produced a decent moment where he drives with the ball, has a long shot from around 25 yards out. Unfortunately, his shot just goes wide. Robertson provides a low cross. Jota has a shot as well, saved by Jose Sa. Um, McAllister applies a through ball to Diaz. He's fouled by Jose Sa. Penalty given. Now, some debate in terms of the incident. I think it was the right call. In terms of Diaz falling down, the touch was heavy, especially to get around the keeper. But nonetheless, it was still a challenge from the keeper. He wasn't really going for the ball. So therefore, by the letter of the law, as they want to rephrase it or refer to, it's a penalty kick. So Mohamed Salah steps up and scores with complete ease, smashes it into the center of the goal to give Liverpool the lead there. And then Cunha has a direct free kick. So close, unfortunately, just missed the post. And in the second half, Ogbadu applies a through ball. Bellegarde flicks it towards the substitute, Munetsi, who's through on goal, one-on-one with the keeper, but Alisson manages to make the crucial block. Liverpool then hit the back of the net through Mohamed Salah, but unfortunately the goal was disallowed for offside. Now, I've looked at the incident, and for me, I still am in a little bit disbelief as to why that was not given. I believe the defender, uh, what's his name, Agbadu, was keeping Mohamed Salah onside. And funny thing about this was that it wasn't really reviewed by VAR. It was quickly dismissed. And so for me, that is a frustrating one. It's another poor decision from those clowns in the VAR office. But VAR were involved again moments later as Jota is fouled by Ogbadu, same defender. Penalty awarded, but in the end it was overturned by the referee. Now, having looking back at the incident, it wasn't the cleanest of fouls. So it's, the fact that it wasn't given is probably the fair outcome. I think it was a slight dive because Jota didn't get fouled. He pretty much left his leg out and it touched the defender, and then he fell to ground. So it was more clever play or simulation, however you want to phrase it, but it wasn't a foul. So I have not too many qualms about that decision. My only issue with that whole incident is the fact that when the referee was asked to review the incident in the on the screen by VAR, they were presenting it with the worst angle possible. Generally, when they ask the referee to review it, they do show different angles for some reason, and it's not, it's quite obvious as to why. But in this situation, they only presented the angle that wasn't favoring Liverpool in any shape or form because you can barely see the player touching Jota in that moment. If it was the reverse angle, and the referee still didn't deem it as a foul, then for me, it would be no issues. It's just the fact that they gave us the wrong angle for the referee to review. And for me, that just shows some level of, making sure that Liverpool didn't get the upper hand. And that's how I felt with that moment. So, penalty, no, it probably wasn't, but I wasn't happy with what was presented on the screen for the referee. Wolves did apply a pressure. To be honest with you, João Gomez has a left-footed shot towards the goal. Fortunately, goes high and wide, but Cunha gets on the score sheet. And what a nice goal it was! Nice turn to get past Groundberg as he cuts inside, hits a left-footed finish into the back corner. What a finish that was! And towards the latter stage of the game, Kwanzaa makes a crucial block from Bellegarde's cross that denies Wolves an opportunity to score. And then that was just before the 90th minute. And for some reason, we were given 6 minutes of stoppage time. Where on earth did those minutes come from? Because the VAR review for Salah's goal literally was decided in about split seconds. I'm talking like 10, 15 seconds. So where on earth did those 6 minutes come from? But nonetheless, it was definitely a nervy end to the game. I think us Liverpool fans were getting PTSD from our previous fixture where we were on the lead. In fact, we had a 2-1 lead, same scoreline as today, and we dropped points in the end because a goal was awarded a few minutes after the stoppage time that was given at that time. So no, in the end, for me, it wasn't the best performance. I think first half we were decent. We were quite positive in the way we were playing. Second half, yeah, I think that the tactics that were deployed by Wolves, obviously the Bombella guards, who I was surprised that didn't start in this fixture, to be fair. I think he's one of their best midfielders. He provided strength and energy in that midfield, played out wide at the start, but then drifted in at times. So he was a very versatile player, and he was always going to be a threat in some shape or form. Then they brought on this their signing Munetsi, who I believe is traditionally a midfielder, but he was playing up top today, and his physical presence definitely caused us a bit of an issue in our defense. So tactics, I think favoured them where they were playing a bit more direct football. For Liverpool, we weren't able to produce, I think, a shot on target in the second half, which is a slight concern. That hasn't happened in a number of years. So is that one to put the microscope on? I wouldn't say so. I think we just deployed a completely different tactic, and that was proof when we took off Diaz and brought in Endo, which for me I was actually pleased about because it's something that I've asked Arne to do over the last few weeks, where we've needed a player like Endo to come in and provide a bit of stability in our midfield and protection for the back four, and we've not had that. We've given our chances away, or we've given goals away, or we've lost the lead and we end up drawing the game. So in today's performance, he actually produced really well. But we'll talk about his performance in due course. But look, I'm pleased that we got the win today. That's all that matters. I don't really care how we won the game. As long as we got 3 points on the board, that's all that counts. No one's going to think about this performance. It's what's showing Liverpool at the table. That is what counts. So for us, top of the table, 7 points clear. And for me, that's the most important thing right now. So yeah, so that's my quick match review there. What we'll do now is we'll move on and present the player ratings, and then we can take it from there. So here we go. Let's start with the goalkeeper. That's his performance today. In the first half, I don't think he was, kept busy in that regard. Didn't have to make a lot of saves, but in the sort of early moments of the second half, he was certainly brought into action as he was 1-on-one with, I think it was Bellegarde. That was the attacker. Sorry, not Bellegarde. It was Munetsi. So Bellegarde provided the flick there towards Munetsi. He's through on goal. Great block by Allison, but unfortunately, he had to take one for the team as he clashed into the player, and I think he had a huge cut on his shin, which required treatment at the time, but he was still able to continue. So fair play to him. And they did, spray shots on us during the game, especially in the second half. So I thought he had a decent performance. So in terms of his rating, I think that save was actually quite vital at that time. I know we were 2-0 up, but it was still a very important save. So in terms of his performance, I'll give him a I'll give him a 7.5 out of 10. I think that's a respectable score for Allison. Trent pretty much only played an hour today. I was a little bit disappointed with his performance today. I think defensively he was fine. He kept Cunha quite quiet on that left-hand side. But for me, he was very wasteful on the ball today. Gave the ball away far too many occasions. Like, I don't even know his stats in terms of his pass completion, but it wasn't have been very high today, if I'm being honest. I feel like he gave the ball away on numerous times, selected the wrong passes as well. So he just wasn't really finding his true form in this game. So I don't think it was a great performance from him. So in that regards, I'm going to give him a 6.5. Seems quite low, but I don't think he was that great today. Um, Now on to what's going on here. Konate only played one half as he was booked just before half time. He had a decent performance, I guess, based on what we saw. I think it was a bit unlucky to pick up that yellow card. The ref tried to suggest that he made other challenges beforehand, and that's what led to the yellow card. But it's all good and well a referee mentioning or compiling a list of things that they had done, but the fact that he was given a yellow card for was barely made any contact on the player. So I feel like that was the harsh time to give him a yellow card. Uh, but for a decent half, didn't really do too much wrong. So for me, it would just be an average rating of 7 out of 10. I don't couldn't give him anything higher than that. He wasn't spectacular. He just kept everything neat and tidy. So he's only brought off more for to make sure that he doesn't get a second yellow. So that was the reason why he was taken off. Van Dijk, yeah, another solid performance from him today. I don't feel like he was probably there was one time where he dropped to ground, which you never see Van Dijk falling to ground. He always stays on his feet, has great balance. Wasn't really attacked that much today. So I thought whatever came across him, he defended really well. And distribution was decent today. So for me, I'll give him a 7.5 out of 10. Um, Robertson actually had a really good game in my eyes. I thought he was very good today. I think he did everything that was needed from him, whether it's from a defensive point of view or an attacking point of view. I think he kept everything neat and tidy. Very rarely gave the ball away. I think he made the right decision in terms of making overlapping runs and defensively stayed tight on his man. Sarabia didn't really have much of an influence in the game, so I think Robertson had a really solid game today. So, uh, and a lot of fans wanted Tsimikas to start, but I think he justified his selection today. He gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Gravenberg had a decent first half, kind of quieted a little bit in the second half. I feel like it might just be due to playing a lot of games in recent weeks. He might be feeling the effects. He might be jaded, fatigued, however you want to phrase it. So he may need a bit of a breather. Obviously, we've got a big game coming up on Wednesday, so maybe a squad rotation would be required to just rest some of the players. Maybe he probably shouldn't have started today. Is another debate. But I thought he had a decent game overall, so I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. McAllister, decent performance, not as great as the Everton game. I thought against Everton, he was sublime. Like he really stood up for me in that game. Today, I feel like he was less involved, but nonetheless, still very effective in terms of his passing. He took up the role of being a corner set piece taker as well, so produced some decent crosses. So I thought he had a decent game, made some clinching tackles, got hurt in the process on a couple of occasions as well. But for me, put in effort and had a decent game, so I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. So Bosley, I think he had a solid game, but not as impactful as I would have liked, to be honest with you. I think there were phases where he kind of went a bit missing, especially in the second half. He wasn't really involved in the build-up play as such. In the first half, I feel like he showed a better account of himself on the ball a bit more. Good first touch, laying off passes here and there. Had a shot where he almost scored from distance. So a decent performance, but I feel like he slightly fizzled out in the second half. So in that regards, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Mohamed Salah, of course, on the score sheet today through the penalty kick. I feel like he should have got a second goal, but he was wrongfully given offside. Something I might have to try and bring visuals on the next time I do this review. I'll be doing a Premier League review tomorrow, so I might bring on that show because I genuinely feel like he was onside in that moment, and it was a great finish as well in the end. So I thought he did well. I think in the first half he was actually attacking Ait Nouri on a numerous occasions. Second half, I don't feel like he did it enough, and whenever he did, I think Ait Nouri probably got the better hand. In fact, Ait Nouri played a bit more further up, which led to Salah dropping deep a little bit more than normal. So yeah, for me, decent game from Mohamed Salah. So in terms of his performance, um, I'll give him an 8 out of 10. It seems quite high, but obviously, if you've scored the goal, you get bonus points in my eyes. So that's why he gets an 8 out of 10. Um, Diaz was really good today. Very, very good. From the first minute, playing in his more natural position, I really feel like he showcased his talent today. The first moment, pretty much involved. Obviously, he scored the goal, didn't have to kick it as such, but uh, went with the right sort of touch that was required. Some players will still try to kick it or get their knee on it as well, I guess, but he pretty much used his hip and just guided it into the back of the net. So, not the prettiest of goals, but hey, a goal is a goal. And obviously, he was the one that got fouled for the penalty, and that led to Mohamed Salah converting from the spot. So I thought he was really good. And obviously, those are key moments there, but I feel like he attacked the left channel really well. He was our creative spark, and he definitely added pace on the wings for us. So I thought he had a very, very good game today. So in terms of his rating, I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. I was very impressed with Diaz today. So might be slightly high for some, but I think it's justified. So he gets a 9 out of 10 for me. And Jota for me was a little bit quiet today. He did have a few shots in the first half, but wasn't really heavily involved as such. Obviously, had a penalty shot, which probably wasn't a penalty, but have to be honest in that regard. So, slightly better performance from the last game, but not a huge improvement. So, in terms of his rating, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. So, that is my rating for the first 11 in terms of the player or man, the match, I should say. It goes to Luis Diaz for me. I thought he definitely stood out and played well and was involved in the key moments of the game. So therefore, he gets the man of the match for me. So now what I'll do, I'll bring on the subs that were also played in the second half today, and then we'll give their rating as well. So Kwanzaa replaced Konate as a halftime sub. So we'll bring him on. Oops, there we go. And then you've got Conor Bradley, like for last substitution for Trent. And then you have Darwin Núñez on for Jota. There you go. And then the last one is Endo on for Diaz. There you go. So we'll just move the players around. So Endo started playing. Suppose I got shifted to the left. McAllister as a Mac 10 and Endo alongside Groundberg. So let's start with Kwanzaa. I thought Kwanzaa actually did really well. I had a sort of like a debate or a poll with my viewers on the watch along that I did earlier today to ask who should be the preferred choice to replace Konate because it was quite obvious that he was going to get replaced at some point. I actually went for Endo. I thought he's probably the more confident or more informed player out of the two. I think Kwanzaa has had some shaky performances in recent week, but I have to be honest, I was very impressed with him. Kept everything neat and tidy, made a very important block in the last few minutes of the game that could have led to a goal. So for me, a decent cameo and gives me a bit of confidence if he's selected again, which is good for him in terms of his confidence going forward. So for his rating, I'll give him a 7.5 out of 10. Um, and then we have Conor Bradley, who came on like for Trent. I thought Conor Bradley did well. There was one moment where he pretty much nudged Bellegarde out the way, and that wasn't an easy thing to do because Bellegarde very strong on the ball, and he was probably causing the most trouble to the defense in the second half. And I feel like Conor Bradley, whenever called upon, did really well against him. So I thought he had a decent cameo. So I'm going to give Conor Bradley a 7 out of 10. Darwin Núñez for me had a bit of a quiet cameo. Didn't really get heavily involved. I don't remember him having a shot on goal. Worked hard as always, like he normally does. Few decent touches here and there, but nothing really that stood out for me, unfortunately. So Jota didn't have the best of games, but I don't feel like Nunes improved any further as he was his replacement. So for Nunes, it might sound harsh, but I'm gonna give him a 5 out of 10. I don't think he was impactful in today's game. Now, in terms of the last player, which was Endo, he replaced Luis Diaz. I was very happy with his cameo. He literally did what he was asked to do, to be a destroyer, make sure they got nothing out of the game. He made so many blocks. One that sticks to mind is when their wing back came on, Lima, the Brazilian right back. He came on, he went past, I think it was Robertson and Endo, but Endo managed to catch up with him and get the ball off him because he was just about to set a low cross and maybe set up a player. And he did that countless amount of times. And what shows, when someone's done a great job is when players run up to him and pat him on the back and all sorts. That happened on numerous occasions for Endo. So for me, everyone really appreciated his involvement and his impact as soon as he came on. He definitely gave us assurance in terms of the back line. And at that time as well, we weren't playing with real confidence. We weren't really troubling the keeper. So we needed a bit more stability in our midfield, and he definitely provided that. Mac 10 played a bit more advanced, and that allowed it to be a double pivot with Endo and McGranberg, which ended up being a decent duo in the game. So very, very pleased with his performance today. So with that said, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I thought that is the camera that you want from a substitute. He did everything I was asked. And yeah, put everything on the line. So big up to Endo. Good performance from him today. So that is my player rating. So feel free to drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. Um, Before we close the show, I can see we've got a few comments. I'll just read them out. Uh, and they are from Abdul. Big up to Abdul. He says, I don't care how we play, but we need to keep on winning. I totally agree with you. I'm not too hugely fussed about the level of performances now. Um, Especially what happened to us against Everton. For us, is just trying to get those 3 points, try and get closer to that title, and that's what counts for me. So yeah, I agree. I'm not too fussed about how he performed today. It wasn't great, especially in the second half. Second half was very disappointing, but we'll just take it as a one-off, and then we'll move on from there. And Abdul's also comment saying we need more from Nunes and Jota. Why get Chiesa if we don't use him? Good slot is using Endo. Yeah, very pleased that that slot used Endo at the time when he was brought on because I think I was talking about it in my watch along, and then literally seconds later he was brought on. So it's like honestly, I was reading my mind or something. But so yeah, I think in that instance we had to bring on Endo. We just needed to add a bit of protection to that back line. um, I was actually saying Chiesa should probably come on for the last 10 minutes, but I think at that stage of the game, it was probably the right call not to bring on Chiesa because we weren't really an attacking team. We were a team that were literally on the back foot, defending in numbers. So you don't want to bring a player on that's attack minded in that situation. So suppose I was playing left wing, which for me I'm comfortable with because he has played that role before at Red Bull Leipzig. So he was very, comfortable playing in that position. So sometimes you have to analyze the game. If we were like 3-1 up or we were in comfortable possession, then you kind of bring on attackers. But in that moment, I don't think it was needed. Even with previous games we've played, where I think it was the Everton one when Jota came on, and it was like, why did Jota come on? We should bring on Endo. Same argument there. So in this instance, he did do that. He did bring on Endo and didn't go for an attack in the end. So I think that was the right call. So maybe he's learned from his previous games, and Arsenal has shown that this season where if something that hasn't worked or something was missing in a game, he's trying to address it in another situation in upcoming games. Well, so for me, that shows growth as a coach. and it shows me that he's gaining the experience that some people don't think he has. You can only get experience if you're given a chance, right? So he's been given a chance to be the Liverpool head coach, and he's gaining valuable experience, which will only help us in the long run. So for me, um, I was pleased that he made that tactical change. It's a very easy thing to say out loud as a fan, but for the coach to do it and understand the situation was a good viewing. So I was pleased that Endo got some game time today. And in terms of Nunes and Jota, I think Jota is just, I'm not making excuses for him, but because he's so injury prone, he finds a bit of time to find that rhythm. And slowly was better. It was a little bit better today, showing some slow progress, but not enough for me to start week in, week out. And Darwin Nunes, very difficult for a striker to build that momentum coming off the bench. Sometimes when he starts games, he's got a really good performance. And when he's been dropped to the bench, it might hinder his confidence. Who knows? But it's still a fair point. We do need more from both. We've not been getting a lot of goals from the central position in recent weeks, so it is a bit of a concern. So yeah, I think we do need more from both players. I've just said we need a left-sided centre back, DM, and number 9 in summer. In terms, I agree we need a centre back. Whether it's a left-sided one, for me, that's up for debate. In my mentality, I've kind of moved away from wanting a left-sided centre back. I think we're better off signing a right-footed centre back that can play on both sides and provide cover for both roles. I feel like that one makes more sense. Because if you get a left-footed centre back, they're not going to replace Van Dijk, and I don't want Van Dijk being shifted as a right-sided centre back. So for me, it makes more sense to get a centre back that can play both roles and provide the quality that we need in that position. Because we've got Konate, who's a solid defender, but unfortunately, does pick up injuries here and there. So we need more quality and better cover in those central back positions. So. But yeah, those three positions, I would say centre back, DM, and number 9. Those are the three we need to definitely address. Hopefully, we can find the right type of profile of players in the summer. Abdul's also comment saying Arsenal don't have a number 9 and a few injuries yet, but they're still getting the win, so they will definitely be applying the pressure for us. Thankfully, we got the win today. That's extended our lead back to 7 points because yes, yesterday they won and beat Leicester City, so they got a sigh of hope and belief that they could catch up Liverpool. Oh, it's only 4 points, we can do them. They still need to beat Wolves tomorrow, so that was their mentality as a fan base. But obviously, we showed them today, and we got back to normal scheduling and 7 points clear now. So hopefully, we can really capitalize going forward. Nottingham will drop points. They would, yeah, I assume so, but they're still in good form. So Man City picking up points. I'm not too concerned about Man City in terms of the league challenge there. I don't think they're anywhere near that sort of area. And for them, it would be a good season or conclusion to a season if they end in the Champions League position. As well, Villa versus LFC, Man City, LFC, Arsenal, LFC, LFC versus Newcastle, Chelsea, LFC will be a tough game. When are we playing Newcastle? Let me have a look. That's something I need to check. So we're not playing Arsenal until May, so that's quite a long way. So in terms of the next fixture, it's Villa, City, Newcastle, Southampton, and then we've got a cup final. So and we've got the return. I was gonna say return leg. It wasn't a two-legged affair, but we've got the return match against Everton on the 2nd of April. So that's one definitely. I'm looking forward to try and get some revenge there. But no, in terms of these, I'm assuming you're suggesting these are the tougher games. I think they're all tough games throughout the league. To be honest with you, there is no certainty that you will pick up maximum points in each game, especially at this part of the season where the lesser teams are forming out of the norm because they're trying to fight for survival. So it's going to be a tough run of games to get this title. But I do have the confidence that we will be champions at the end of the season. Abdul said Arsenal will points from now. I'm assuming you say we'll drop points from now until the end of the season. They will. I think we all will at some point. we just need to make sure that we're still building momentum and making sure we're not dropping as many points as the others. 7 point gap, so we gotta make sure that's a minimum, or we can add more to it and walk away with it before the last day of the season. That would be amazing for us to make sure we secure it before those crunching times, because it could be high pressure moment. And with all this hard work that we produced this season, you don't want to lose it on the last day. So hopefully we can secure it before the last fixture, which is against Crystal Palace at Anfield. So yeah, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Abdul for your comments as always. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now, in terms of upcoming content, I should be doing a Premier League review of all the matches in match week 25, and then I'll do a match preview of Aston Villa. Is that Villa Park, isn't it? Yes, Aston Villa versus Liverpool on Tuesday evening, and then I'll be doing the watch along of that fixture on Wednesday, plus a match reaction, and then a match preview of Man City versus Liverpool, and then a watch along for that fixture on Sunday, plus a match reaction as well. So lots of content coming next week. So feel free to hit that notification bell so you know what time I'm going live. And if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all very, very soon. Goodbye.